Season 4 of The Boys isn't just about explosions, shock value, or who's more unhinged this week. It's a season about identity collapsing. Almost every major character is forced to confront who they really are when the lies stop working. Some arcs soar, some stumble, and some are downright uncomfortable by design. So let's rank every major character arc in The Boys Season 4, from weakest to strongest, based on impact, writing, and how much it actually moved the story forward. Starting at the bottom of the ranking is The Deep. Once again, The Deep is trapped in his own loop of insecurity, ego, and moral cowardice. Season 4 continues his pattern of desperately wanting relevance while never earning it. His relationship with Sage exposes just how easily he's manipulated, and yet he never learns from it. That's the problem with his arc this season. It's stagnant on purpose. The show clearly wants him to represent the kind of man who never grows, who keeps choosing comfort over conscience. While that's thematically consistent, it makes his storyline feel repetitive. He's still funny, still pathetic, but by Season 4, the joke isn't evolving. He ends exactly where you expect him to, and that limits the weight of his arc. Next is A-Train, whose arc is frustrating because it almost becomes great. Season 4 pushes A-Train closer to accountability than ever before. He's haunted by the damage he's done, especially to Hughie and to Black communities he pretends to care about now. His attempt to do good feels genuine at times, but it's constantly undercut by fear. A-Train wants redemption without sacrifice, and Season 4 makes it painfully clear that those two things can't coexist. His arc works thematically, but it lacks a decisive moment. He's still hesitating, still half-choosing decency, and by the end of the season, you're left wondering if the show is delaying his payoff or if this is all he'll ever be. Slightly higher is Frenchie, whose Season 4 arc is intentionally uncomfortable. Frenchie's guilt finally catches up to him, and the show stops romanticizing his self-destruction. His relationship with Colin forces him to confront the reality that love doesn't erase past violence. Frenchie is someone who has always tried to outrun his trauma with affection, substances, or humor, and Season 4 denies him that escape. His arc is messy, slow, and emotionally heavy, but it's honest. The reason it doesn't rank higher is pacing. His storyline often feels isolated from the larger plot, making it powerful on its own, but slightly disconnected from the season's momentum. Next is Kimiko, whose arc continues to be one of quiet resilience. Season 4 explores her desire for normalcy and joy in a world that keeps dragging her back into violence. Kimiko doesn't want to be a weapon anymore, but she's constantly reminded that her strength is what keeps her and Frenchie alive. Her arc isn't flashy, but it's emotionally consistent. Every fight hurts more because she knows exactly what it costs her. Kimiko's strength this season is that she doesn't regress. She evolves, even when it hurts. Her story is about choosing humanity in a system that profits from stripping it away. Moving higher, we have Mother's Milk, whose Season 4 arc is one of internal pressure and restraint. is holding everything together while slowly breaking under the weight of responsibility. He's trying to be a better father, a better leader, and a better man than the world allows him to be. The show emphasizes how leadership isn't about dominance, but endurance. MM's arc doesn't revolve around spectacle. It revolves around survival. The reason his storyline works so well is because it feels painfully real. He's exhausted, angry, and still showing up. Season 4 makes it clear that is the emotional backbone of The Boys, even when no one thanks him for it. Now we enter the top tier with Starlight. Annie's Season 4 arc is about reclaiming agency after years of compromise. She's done trying to fix a corrupt system from the inside. The show finally allows her to be angry, not just disappointed, not just hopeful, but furious. Her struggle with public perception, power, and guilt over the damage caused in her name gives her arc depth. Starlight's evolution this season is about understanding that goodness without action is just branding. She chooses resistance, even when it costs her safety and reputation. That choice defines her arc and pushes her into the upper ranks. Just above her is Hughie, whose Season 4 storyline is the most emotionally brutal he's ever had. Hughie is forced to confront loss in a way that strips him of optimism. His father's condition, his desperation to fix the unfixable, and his temptation to cross moral lines expose how much he's changed since Season 1. Hughie's arc is about grief turning into obsession. He's no longer reacting, he's deciding, and that's terrifying. The show doesn't let him off the hook for his choices, and that accountability makes his arc one of the strongest of the season. At number 2 is Butcher, whose Season 4 arc is fueled by mortality and regret. This is the season where Butcher can no longer pretend he's invincible. His illness forces him to reflect on the damage he's caused, especially to Ryan. Butcher has always justified his cruelty as necessary, but Season 4 strips away that excuse. He's running out of time, and the question becomes whether he'll choose legacy or vengeance. His relationship with Ryan is the emotional core of his arc, and watching Butcher struggle to be something other than a weapon is both heartbreaking and deeply earned. And finally, at number 1, the most powerful character arc of The Boys Boys Season 4 belongs to Homelander. Season 4 dismantles Homelander piece by piece. This isn't just about him being evil, it's about him being empty. The season forces him to confront his origins, his need for validation, and the truth that fear is the only thing holding his world together. His relationship with Ryan exposes his deepest flaw. Homelander doesn't know how to love without control. The more power he gains, the more fragile he becomes. Season 4 turns Homelander into a cautionary tale about what happens when narcissism meets unchecked authority. He isn't evolving, he's unraveling. And that slow psychological collapse makes his arc the most compelling, terrifying, and unforgettable of the season. Season 4 of The Boys succeeds because it understands that the real battles aren't just physical, they're internal. Every character is fighting who they've been, who they pretend to be, and who they're afraid of becoming. Some arcs stumble, some soar, but together they create a season that's less about shock and more about consequence. And that's what makes it one of the show's most mature chapters yet.